Hello, finally, better late than never, they say. This is the burning questions for this week. Today's February the 24th. I've got a big card on this Saturday night. We've called in some big guns to preview this all trotting meeting. And look, we're always going to be a bit late on this Thursday, but we've probably been pushed back another 15 minutes because Murphy's Law, a protest in the final race at Melton, and I'm blaming you, David Murphy. Your surname is Murphy. Dan Mielicki, great to have you on your Burning Questions debut.
It is.
This is really exciting, and I hope you're looking forward to the program.
I am. Thanks, Tim, and hi, Nikita. Hello, Andy. Yes, I talked to Tim earlier on today, and I said I should be fine. I should make it in perfect time. The only thing that'll stop me if there's a delay or protest on the last 11 races. What odds do you think there would be a protest on the last race? And it's the same odds every race meeting. If it's going to happen, it's the last.
Well, it's great to have you here. And, of course, I think that protest was thrown out in the end. So a bit of a wait for nothing. But great to have you on. We'll get stuck into the questions shortly. But we'll introduce another of our – well, he's not really a guest anymore, I don't think, Nikita. He's a genuine panel member. He's on more than me. Andy Gath, great to have you here. You've had a successful day at Melton, so you should be full of beans and pockets should be full.
Yeah, no, I wasn't on him, but happy to win for connections. And, yeah, it's a bit of a rush for me too, having 4 horses and get them home and get ready for this. But, yeah, and it's good to see Scooters family had a winner too, the first out in Chuka. So we've all had quite a good day so far.
Was that you did say to me, Nikita, this is true, actually. I didn't realise you'd won the first race. You said, we'll do burning questions after I win the first race at Echuca, and you have won it. So you should have full pockets too.
Yeah, it's a pretty happy panel at the moment. Well, maybe not Dan because he's been held up, but the rest of us have had a good day.
That's fantastic. Well, that is fantastic. Well, let's start the burning questions. We're going to focus on the Saturday night card at Melton. It's an all square gating card, 2 Group 1s. Of course, it's a Lynn McPherson Breed for Speed Series finals night, and of course the Australian Trotting Grand Prix, which is the last leg of 8 of the Aurora Australis Series, the inaugural Aurora Australis Series. So a jam-packed card. Nikita's going to be there for Trots Vision in a roaming capacity too, not behind the desk. So plenty to look forward to on Saturday night. Dan, you haven't been on before, but we're jam-packed with sponsors, so bear with me. Whether you are celebrating a win or shoveling in the stables, you want your staff to look their very best. And you can do that with uniforms from Hip Pocket, Workwear and Safety. They have you covered for clothing, protective equipment, and plenty more. Check out hippocketworkwear.com.au. There's stores everywhere, 2 or 3 in Ballarat, 1 near me. So no doubt they're doing well on the back of the Burning Question sponsorship. We might start with our special guest first, Dan. The very first question relates to race 4 on the card on Saturday night. Will experience come to the fore in the 3-year-old classic?
Look, I've tipped Everybody Loves Kenny. I presume that's where you're looking to, and I think so. But it's almost a process of elimination race. There's obviously a debutante that I'm wary of, but Everybody Loves Kenny. He's competed in all the major finals, so he gets there, and he's not far off the best. But for a $30,000 race, he's not going to get a better chance, I don't think, to break through. So yes, I'm with the experienced runner. Everybody Loves Kenny. Would I put the house on it? No. Would I put any single room in the house on it? No. But maybe the second barbecue or an old tire or something like that. I think he can win, obviously, but he doesn't look like he's going to be much value.
No, that's right. And, of course, it'd be great for Damien Burns, who's going great guns with a small team just out the road for me here at Snake Valley. He's got Everybody Loves Kenny. Andy, which way are you leaning here? You're a master of the trotters. These are up your alley these nights, all square gating cards. This 4th race, a tricky one. We've got Kiang Duchess, who we've only seen at the trials. Is it experience, or are you taking a chance on a horse that we mightn't have seen the best of yet?
Yeah, probably a little bit with Dan. Again, it's not a great field for a $30,000 race, and it's going to be a birthday for one of them. Everybody Loves Kenny. He's performed well, but he's only ever won the 1 race, I think, out of the 19 starts. So his percentage of winning isn't that great, and he is drawn a little bit wide. Would have liked to see the Kiang horse a little bit shorter in the market to see if they were winning chance, but they've sort of both drifted in the market, so they're probably out of it a little bit. But yeah, tricky race. Yeah, I couldn't put you off anything in the race, but I think going forward, some of these might develop a little bit more for a little bit more experience. But of the exposed form, I think the ones that have sort of won races are probably going to be the ones to beat.
What about you, Nikita? It is a very tricky race. You framed these questions, so this is on you. Which way are you playing in race 4 on Saturday night?
Yeah, I write the questions and I probably should make them a little bit easier for us all. But yeah, look, I'm with everyone else. I think it's considering it's a Group 2 race, yes, it's not the strongest field you will see. Obviously, some lightly raced horses. And yeah, I'm going with Everybody Loves Kenny. As Andy mentioned, only won the one race, but has gone through those strong series last year as a 2-year-old. So it will be interesting to see how forward he is for this race. But I think experience will definitely play a part. As we know, in these juvenile trot races, trotting is the aim of the game and can quite often win big races. So I'm with him, but it's quite an open race, and the outsider could get up without surprise, really.
Maybe it's a field job in the early quaddie. That might be the way to play. A very tricky way to start the burning questions. We might go to Andy last on this one because this refers to a horse that he knows very well. Question 2 of the burning questions, brought to you by the Fresh Connection, who export Australian fresh fruit to more than 35 countries, headed up by Damien Glengarry, who is the export manager and does a sensational job. The Fresh Connection specialise in citrus, table grapes, cherries and mangoes. freshconnection.com.au. Dan, we ask all our new guests what their favourite fruit is. Are you a cider man or a wine man? You can even talk about fruit in those alcoholic terms.
Oh, yeah, no, look, yeah, well, I do. I like wine, but I like brandy too, and you get various flavours of fruity brandy as well. So I'm a bit keen on the apricot and sometimes the plum, and obviously some of the apple as well. So in fact, anything to do with brandy or wine, it actually doesn't matter what colour it is or what size bottle it is. In fact, anything in that shop where they sell wine or brandy or beer, usually it'll satisfy me. But favourite fruit would have to be kiwi fruit.
Kiwi fruit. Interesting. I reckon that might be Andy's too. Let's start with you, Nikita, here. Is Vacation Hill the M word from a sticky draw? This is race 5, of course, the Group 1 Gold Series final, and the M word is moral.
Yeah, I don't love the M word. Yeah, I find it very hard to declare anything moral, as you know. But look, I think she's pretty close too. Obviously, Hopeful Beauty off the front row is the main danger, and I think they probably look the 2 winning chances. But Vacation Hill was excellent in her heat. She just dominated when she found the front, and she won't be able to do that. We haven't seen her win from the back row, but I think she just could be a class above. So expecting her to be very, very hard to beat despite the tricky back row draw.
Dan, is Vacation Hill a moral to you? The market, I haven't quite seen it, but she's going to come up short and she probably deserves to be. But moral is reserved for only the very, very best punting propositions. Is she one of them?
I've got a rule that I stick to myself, and is that you never tip a good thing from the back row over the short at Melton. And particularly when they're first up, not that she is. She got the class, but so was Elderbaron Crescent, who's drawn the back line, and I'm not tipping her as a good thing, but I think she'll be the better value. Elderbaron Crescent. Vacation Hill, absolutely the one to beat, no doubt about that. But where she ends up and what Andy and Kate are prepared to do to maybe give up a spot to potentially ease back, if they drive her for luck, it mightn't come. And usually the best drivers are off the pegs by the first turn. So I suspect Kate will be, but it's a trot race. Horse in front of you could be a bit risky. Got to be aware of that. There's a few things to keep an eye out for. So as far as the moral, no. But the horse to beat, no doubt, Vacation Hill. I'm going Elderbaron Crescent, though.
Interesting. Certainly not a moral from Dan's point of view. I know, Andy, you wouldn't dare do this to yourself and put one of your own horses as a moral, but I'm going to ask you the question anyway. Is Vacation Hill a moral on Saturday night?
Not from that draw. Any other draw, I'd be super confident. She's a really good mare. I think she's capable of beating any trotter in Australia on any given night or day. Her work at home, A+. She can work as good as any of my trotters at home. Her 2 wins have been quite dominant when she's been able to find the front, and obviously this is not going to be the case Saturday night. Back row draw over 1700, it's always difficult, but she's very, very good. And again, if she had drawn the front row, we just had 1 horse ODM and she would have got that draw. But unfortunately, draw's not going to change. But I still think she can get the job done. But as Dan said, it's a rule that I probably have too. You never a moral over the short from inside the back row. But I think she's going to win plenty of big races going forward.
Are you that big of opinion of her, Andy? I mean, that's a fairly strong comment there about what she does at home. You think she's a really, really good horse?
Oh, no doubt. And I think she'll get to prove it in the coming months.
Yeah, great to hear. There's no shortage of good trotters, and yeah, there's another one on our hands by the look of it. Fantastic. I want to say Moral, but I'm not going to. She should win. She should win, no doubt about it. Let's go to the third of our questions. I might start with you here, Andy, because it's got your initials in it. It's brought to you by APG. Go to apgold.com.au. And the third question is, who leads the Grand Prix and will it determine the result? Fascinating front row, a fascinating race, a great race. It's the final leg of the Aurora Australis series. You've got Majestuoso 2 points clear of I'm Ready Jet. You've drawn barrier 4. She's drawn barrier 1. There's $50,000 at stake here, and it could even be a dead heat in these points. I don't know what's going to happen then. It's a fascinating race and also a fascinating end of the series. So how do you see the speed battle, I guess, initially, and will it determine the result?
Yeah, no, it's a very tricky map to work out. I'm guessing they're not jumping up and down with joy with barrier 1 for I'm Ready Jet, because last time I drew there, it galloped out. So again, she has, apart from galloping out in the Great Southern Star Heat, she has developed pretty good gate speed, throughout her career, and she does leave the gate quite good. Always Ready can leave the gate quick. Sundine's Courage is quick. Majestuoso is probably quicker from out wider, and Temporale can fly the gate as well. So, Kate will come out as quick as she can. She'll, make them earn I'm Ready Jet. They'll make this, they're going to make a decision either all or nothing at the start to hold the position. And who leads, I really don't know. A lot depends what Sundine's Courage does, but we've got to come out pretty quick to hold Temporale. Every time Majestuoso's led, I think he's won, but saying that, he has drawn the back row most of his life, so he hasn't led in a lot of his races, but when he has found the top, he's been able to win. But it's such a great field, and we know how good I'm Ready Jet is. I love her to death. I'd like her more if she was in my stable, but she's not. She's going to be great competition going forward in every time you race her, and she can do things that other trotters can't do. And but yeah, that first turn is going to be tricky, and I really can't answer the question. I think it would help if you find the top, but it's going to be at a cost.
Yeah, it's an intriguing race. I don't know. I spoke to Anton Gleno on radio this week and asked him a bit about it, and he wasn't declaring any scenario, but he did say that you're almost, I think his words were, you're almost obliged to use the speed from Always Ready. So, if I was to have a guess, I thought maybe Always Ready would go to the top and give her cover, but who knows? That's only 2 of the horses in the race. Dan, fascinating speed map and fascinating race. How do you see it, the Grand Prix?
Yeah, look, personally, I don't think Always Ready will come out. I think that they're of the opinion now on his last run that they've liked these runs from the back of the field, finishing it off. So unless I'm Ready Jet went roughly in the score up or made a mistake, I think they're more likely to look to take a cover quickly with Always Ready. So a lot will depend on I'm Ready Jet. I think the ideal scenario for her would be Majestuoso leading and I'm Ready Jet sitting behind her. Temporale is the one, though, because he can come out humming. We've seen him at those 2,200-metre starts, especially out wide, and he can leave really quick. Not that he's crossed to lead before, but you've got to work into that first turn. And Majestuoso, Andy, there's something about him since the Great Southern Star final, or in between the heat and the final, he actually seems like a more settled horse. But will he be able to settle if Temporale eyeballs him into the first turn? Will he come back underneath Kate? I'm getting the feeling nowadays more than ever he would be capable of doing that. 2 months ago, I would have thought maybe not.
Yeah, no, he can definitely over race. I think he has matured as he's got older and a lot more sort of racing. Saying that, he does race a little bit on adrenaline, and you do want him to cover a little bit on the bit. And I think he gets a lot of his energy and a lot of his power from that nervous energy he uses when he races. So, again, at times we've seen him overdo it, and especially if you've got a quality horse like I'm Ready Jet on your back, you don't want to be over racing because, time won't beat her. She can run any times that you have to run. So, yeah, he's going to have to settle if he does lead, and Kate has to try and get it cheap as possible and sort of make it a dash home like she did in the Great Southern Star. So, yeah, but, he seems in really good order. Again, it's going to be a fascinating race, and, yeah, you can have 5 or 6 different scenarios that might not come to fruition.
Yeah, it's intriguing. Nikita, looking forward to your opinion here as obviously removed from any of the stables, but it's yeah, a fascinating race and a fascinating speed map. Is there a horse off the back row that's going to capitalise here and blow them all over? Powder Keg Wobbly, something like that?
Yeah, well, it's as you mentioned, Tok, it's a fascinating race and a really quick front line where a number of different things could happen. I tended to think that Always Ready might run a little bit of cover for I'm Ready Jet. Just let her balance up and work forward. And as Andy said, she's really developed her gate speed as well, and she looked like she was going to commence really well in that Great Southern Star heat until, of course, as we know, she made the mistake. So I tend to think Majestuoso may not find the top from pure speed. It might be that he's got to work forward and sort of be handed up too. But yeah, Sundon's courage is probably the key from where he's drawn and what they decide to do with him. And Temporale again could fly the gate. So yeah, I think both I'm Ready Jet and Majestuoso neither have to lead. They've both shown us on a number of occasions that they can do things that a lot of other horses can't. So I think both of them don't have to lead to win, and they can both absolutely win the race. And they look probably the two, but it's quite an open race, I suppose, outside of that as well, and it's going to be an exciting one.
Andy, just a couple of quick questions before we move on to the last one. I'm interested in, is it fair to say that Majestuoso is probably running a few more races than he would have in the past month because of this Aurora Australis series?
I probably would have ran him in the first one if I knew about it. I actually didn't know about it.
Like, we're running more.
He was ready to go in the Merry Mile. He was sitting at home in his box doing nothing. Yeah, we probably went in the Night Pistol race. We probably wouldn't have probably targeted for it, but obviously it's a huge carrot there to dangle in front of you, $50,000 bonus if you're leading point scorer. Saying that, even though we accepted for the Night Pistol, if I wasn't happy with him, he would have come out, but he come through the Great Southern Star really well, and you saw that he was able to get the job done. So and knowing that it was 2 weeks break between this run and this race coming up, it was probably an ideal race to go into. So yeah, again, it sort of forces you to go in the race, and every time the good horses race each other, the better off we are, spectators and lovers of the sport, really.
Well, if you had looked at the shots.com.au channels, you might have already had this series sewn up if you had gone in that first one.
Yeah, it wouldn't be as intriguing going into this last round.
We appreciate it at the media team. Thanks very much. And just a quick word on Tornado Valley. He goes around in race 6. He's drawn the outside of the back row, barrier 9. How's he going? And how much more are we going to see of the old bloke?
Yeah, again, we take it each run, each time, and assess it each time. He seems in really great order at home. He's in magnificent condition. He looks well. His work's been really good. So he gets a winnable race. I know we've bypassed a big race, but lucky enough to got the same owner that we can do this. And yeah, he's got a great opportunity to win Saturday night, and just be we'll just keep ticking him along. And we know he's not quite at the level that he used to be at, but he's still more than competitive, and he loves being in work. He loves racing. So yeah, we'll just keep playing it by ear. But at any stage we think he's going to be well below his best, we'll just be pulling the pin on him.
The last of our burning questions is with thanks to Falvo Fruits, specialists in table grapes since the 1960s. Michael and Josie Falvo are keeping the tradition going, and everyone loves their grapes. Keep an eye out for Falvo Fruits. You'll know you'll love them. We might go to you, Nikita, given you wrote these questions, and they're very tricky. We aim to answer them all. I don't know if we are. They're that hard. Just how good is Interview, and can we trust him back at headquarters at Melton? He's going around as horse number 1 in the last on the card, race number 9.
Well, as one Jay Bonington says, Tok, they're burning questions. They're not meant to be easy. So, look, I think if he trots, he wins Interview. I think he's a really talented horse. That win 2 starts back at Melton against the stablemate, who I think is a nice horse in himself, was excellent. So, obviously, Terang made a couple of mistakes. Back to the bigger track. Yeah, I think he's a really nice horse. Barry 1's a little bit interesting. It's, never ideal for a horse that has had some issues. But yeah, I think if he trots, he's the best horse in the race.
Dan, no doubt you've been impressed by Interview when he does it all right. I guess that's the big question here. But what's your opinion of him? How good is he? Is he destined for some really good wins in the coming months?
Yeah, look, I do think so. We've seen that ability, so I think we can expect it. I tell you one thing, he is a beast. There's plenty of him. He's about 15% bigger than a normal horse. He'd break the scales when he got on it. Look, he could afford to give away 50 metres and win this race. I know that sounds a bit arrogant, but it's the opinion that I've got of him. And yet I couldn't back him. Even though I think he's 50 metres better, I could not back him because he could just get it all wrong. One thing he did do, which I find a little bit of confidence from, or get confidence from, is that when he won, it was late in the night and it was under lights. Often that's something when a lightly raced horse can have a problem with and they get fired up going under the lights. He actually seemed to handle it not too bad. So that's one little tick there. It's a very simple equation. If he trots, as Nikita said, if he trots, he wins.
I think you're right. We should have almost put the M word question in alongside his name too, Nikita. Andy, your opinion on trotters is as important as anyone's in the country. How good is this bloke?
Yeah, no, he's very good. He's a magnificent specimen. Like, I'm always sort of stable close to Anton's horses, and walks past you. He's just a mammoth of a horse. He's just so big. But he's still a long-term horse. We're still 6 months, 12 months away until you see the best of him. But for sheer ability, he's got. We look back in this field in 6 months' time and see where he is and where the others are. He'll be well ahead of them in his development, in his career. 12 months' time, he might be going around in a race like the Grand Prix. Who knows? He's got plenty of ability. He just needs time. He just needs to learn the ring craft. But, he's just built like a machine, and I'm sure he's going to have a great career. When it happens, I'm not sure when it will, but it will happen sometime. And, I couldn't be backing him from barrier 1 over the short. I think he'll get crossed anyway, but he's clearly the best horse in the race.
Yeah, he definitely is. I think I had a quick flick through the form before, and of all the other horses that are very well exposed in this race, I don't think any of them have broken 2 minutes for their mile yet, and he's already done it. So, I mean, I think it's as simple as if he trots, he wins, and even if he doesn't trot all the way and makes a mistake, I'm a bit like Dan. I think he can still win. So, he's a big talent and a big chance on Saturday night. Best bets time. This is the I guess some people fast forward through it all and go straight to the best bets. Andy's been in great form. Couldn't get Ember home, unfortunately, last weekend. I got lucky because you gave me Vintage Cheddar, so I'm thankful for that. He was very good. Bit short for the punters, but we might start with you, Dan. I'm really looking forward to you making even more of a name of yourself in this great game with a winning debut on Best Bets on Burning Questions.
Gee, it was a tough night to come up with a best bet. I'm sort of in the I'm Ready Jet corner, but not enough to declare her a good thing. I think I've got this very unhealthy love for her that might get in the way at times. But I'm going to pick out one at really good odds that I saw something last start that made me think, I reckon you're back, and he'll be really good odds. So I'm tipping as my best, going on an each way basis. Race 1, number 5, Tea Treat Tommy.
Yes, okay. So an each way play. What I haven't seen markets, Dan. Have you got a market or?
I haven't. I'm only looking at the harness website, and he's listed at $18. And if you can see the drool coming down the sides of my face at $18, what a bet he would be at that price. I'll miss out. You'll probably see he's $31 into 5, and it won't be me getting the $31. Andy's got it getting that. If you see it, can you have something on it for me? You haven't got a runner in that race, have you? Oh, you have. You can't bet for me.
You might have to ring Craig Rail. That's Craig Rail bet those prices you're looking at, I reckon. Okay, an interesting, great. I like this, an each way play. We're quite often in the camp of a straight out win bet, but I like it. Tea Tree Tommy, I don't think I've ever backed him to win, Dan, but he's a real favourite of mine. Someone said one day that his wins are like death by 1,000 cuts. So I think that describes him well. He just keeps on coming, doesn't he?
He certainly does, and usually when he wins, the favourite gallops. So sorry, Zigzag Zoo and Andy. He does seem to benefit when the favourites make mistakes.
Let's go to you, Andy, for the best bet. Are you going with something out of your stable again this weekend?
Well, surely Zigzag Zoo wouldn't be favourite, would it? It's got 2 zeros next to its name.
Yeah, like the last 2 letters in its name, 2 zeros.
All right, I got Zigzag Zoo.
Zigzag.
Yeah, I don't know what happened last start. He just got it all wrong. He thought he had 5 legs. He couldn't trot, but his work at home's been quite good, and I think he'll be able to find the top. And so Zigzag Zoo for me. Trying to redeem myself from last week.
Did you have anything on Finn Frost last Friday night, by the way?
Yeah, $20.
That's all right. That's all right. Should he have kept the race? Yes or no?
No doubt. Under the rules, he couldn't lose it.
Were you worried about that at all?
No.
Dan made a good comment. It was an interesting protest hearing, given the camps that were involved going back a while. Enough of that. Nikita, best bets time. How'd you go last week? I can't remember what your best was.
I can't either.
Oh, well, it must have won then.
Yeah.
I was on a bit of a roll, but yeah, no, you've caught me off guard there, Toc.
We
I
should
don't
have
know.
started this early because you would have tipped this race one at the Echuca, no doubt. What about Saturday night? This is not an easy night for best bets. I don't envy you at all.
Well, I'm about to make it really interesting because mine is in race 1 as well, and it's neither Andy or Dan's. I'm going on an each way basis as well, and going for a bit of value. And Namoska, I think, has been in terrific form. Obviously, a couple of starts ago made a mistake, but all around that has been absolutely flying. Second row draw, you know, you always need a touch of luck, but I just think the horse is going really well. So I've got an early market here, $10 and $3.20 for Namoska. So yeah, I think on an each way basis, that looks a good bet. And I can confirm Tea Tree Tommy 11 and $3.30, Dan, and $3.50 favourite for Zigzag Zoo.
Well, Dan, you better hurry. I've got about half an hour before I put this online, so get to business. My best bet, I'm going to go, seeing Dan's gone on each way, I'm going to go a multi here, and I reckon, I'm not going to call this a moral multi, but it's close to it. I'm going to go, I don't know what prices you got, Nikita, here, if you've got them in front of you, but Vacation Hill to win, and I'm going to go with Interview in the last. Can we get $2 or somewhere thereabouts for those two?
Vacation Hill $1.85 you can get.
Oh.
And Interview $1.70.
Oh, this is a big multi for me. Those two to win, and that'll cap us off. I've got to wait all night, but that'll be the way to go. Dan, really appreciate you jumping on. Burning Questions, fantastic to have you on. It's time for a brandy, and it's also time for the W word. There's 2 dogs next to you, I reckon. We're not allowed to say the W word, but can we say it now?
Their ears have just pricked up. You don't know what you've just done. If I'm going to back out, well, I can't now, but yeah, we'll go for a walk, and the brandy might have to wait an hour.
Fantastic. Thanks for coming on. Thanks, Andy. Really appreciate you jumping on again.
My pleasure, guys. Great to catch up.
Great. And thanks, Nikita. Good luck on Saturday night. Can't wait to see you in your new role, roaming Nikita on Shots Vision.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
See you guys. That's Burning Questions for February 24. Good luck, and hopefully we've found you some winners. Jason Bonington back this time next week.